Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the Real Senior Stoner back at you for your Dr. Dabber Switch faux dab of the day. Hello, everybody. Today is, what is today? Today is Thursday. I apologize if I sound like I have marbles in my mouth. I'm sucking a honey lemon drop. Hello, everybody. It's me. If you think I'm talking softly, it's not you. Usually, a group, I don't know, Al-Qaeda, a place, God forbid again, New Orleans with a hurricane, are in the news with something bad. Well, now it's everywhere, with everybody. And we can't say, do this, do that, and bingo, it's good. Think about that. Think how many times I've been on this video and said, hey, if we do this and we do that and that and that and that and that, that's what you need to do. Not like that now. So how do we handle all of this? How do we handle the inability to maneuver? First, you have to admit you're boxed in on all sides. It's like the old saying with mental illness, the first step to getting well is knowing you're sick. Well, the first step to really getting to deal with what we're dealing with is to understand what's happened. So, admit that we're boxed in. It's not admitting that you are weak. See, I think a lot of the times what we do as people is we don't like to admit weakness. That keeps people out of the hospital, keeps them out of the doctor's office, keeps them from admitting they're sick. So once you admit something's going on and that you're boxed in, you look for a solution to get out of the box. The same thing when you don't feel well. You've got to admit you don't feel well. You've got to kind of dial in on what you don't feel well about. And then you look for solutions. Well, nowadays the solution is communicate in new ways. Telemedicine. Unfortunately, I may have to go into a doctor's office again. But the consequences of what's happening, of the feelings of being boxed in, are in addition to the virus itself. So the virus that's out there, the invisible enemy, is causing behavior changes on everybody. And they're not subtle. They're like, whoo, 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 very polarized behavior changes. So we have to find a way to slow that down, to limit the polarity a bit, and try to get centric on what we need to do. So, a couple things. I think we need to distract ourselves. I talk about this with chronic pain. Well, this is a chronic situation that's causing mental pain for everyone. We have to insulate ourselves. Insulate simply means find other things to do. You have to go through this till you get to that, and then go through that till you get to that. 4 steps before you can watch the news. I'm not kidding. And then possibly we can overcome and develop an insulation to what's happening for ourselves. What I think is important is to look at the small issues that you have. Maybe you haven't kept in touch with a loved one. You got to do that. You can achieve that. Maybe you haven't kept in touch with your friends. You got to do that. You can achieve that. Well, we've talked about sleep a lot. How about tweaking your sleep and trying to sleep better? We've talked about that a lot. You know, there are things like Facebook, Instagram, many different ways, platforms to communicate if you're alone. And at this time, really, you've got to try everything and try anything, because this is when it's called use the rainy day fund. I'm not kidding. How many of you are going to use your rainy day fund of money because you're not working? How many of you have to make adaptations to things that are happening, so you're using your rainy day fund of stress capability? Well, it's the rainy day, and it's time to tap into that fund. It's not about money, really. It's more about behavior. But it's time to bring all of our wealth of knowledge, all of our strength together, ourselves, to really protect ourselves during this time. And it's not about a mask and gloves. It's about up here and in here. This is the Real Senior Stoner. Let's take our faux dab. It's a heavy hit. Let's not talk about me right now. I'm talking about everyone. It's important that you understand what I'm talking about. Take a bite out of the problem, a little bit at a time. Try to maneuver in smaller ways, more towards the center. And remember, once you recognize the problem, you're able to solve the problem. This is the Real Senior Stoner wishing you all a great day. Cheers.